Hello, like-minded people. Welcome to my channel. I want you to feel at home, to feel comfortable here. Please, remember to hit the like button when you come in. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment and tell a friend. And tell a friend to tell a friend. And please come back. You're always welcome. Thank you. People, how you doing? Welcome to Passionately Intrigued Arts. I'm working on this motorcycle helmet, as most of you know. And while I'm waiting to figure out how I'm going to actually design the helmet, I do have to work on the hardware. Now, this visor, if you can see it or not really sure. It's pretty scratched up. So if I'm doing the helmet, I want the visor to look good too. And I'm just going to protect it and fill in these scratches with some triple thick polyurethane. And this is great for outdoor coverage. It's a clear gloss. Let's see how that works. I'm just going to put it on this piece of sponge and dab it on there. See how that goes. Just to coat and protect it and get rid of those scratches. Looking much better already, and that's just one coat. I'll do this coat and let it dry, and then I'm going to add 2 or 3 more coats. So that's the first coat. We'll let that dry, and I'll add the others. Yo, that was the wrong urethane to use. That was interior, so I'm gonna use this Varthane, uh, and it's exterior, fast drying, and it has a UV protection within it. So let's use the right urethane, and I'm still going to just spray it onto this sponge and apply it that way. Well, actually, can't hurt just to spray it. I'm gonna spray it and see. And then blot it. That's what I'm gonna do. Or just let it dry. I'm gonna just let it dry. Let's see how that does. It's looking better. Let this dry and give it another coat. While I'm waiting on that to dry, I'm gonna clean up this edge trim, this rubber edge trim for the helmet, and put a little something on it. Just using some rubbing alcohol, or 99%, 90-some percent alcohol to get it clean. And I have this, what is it called? Glitter crystals, and it's in a pink, and you can cut this and use it. It has an adhesive backing, and so what I want to do is trim this with this pink, with these pink crystals. And so I had to cut 2 pieces to fit, and I don't want it to meet in the middle and the front. So I'm going to take this first piece and line it up. It's 1/4 of an inch, and line it up like this so that it meets on the sides. So I'll start with this side, and you just peel it off. See if I can get a hold of it. And I'll place it down. I just want to make sure I've got it even before I go any further. Let's see. That's good enough. So I'll peel a little bit at a time. I wonder if I should turn this light off. Hold on, let me get this lighting right. Let me do this right. I'm not a perfectionist, but I'm a stickler. And so this whole rubber edging measures 32.5. And so the middle measures 16.25 right here. This little strip is, I believe, just shy of 16 inches, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's about 16 inches. So I'm just going to fold this in half to find the middle. Which is right there. And match it up to the middle here. Then that way, I only have to measure about 8 inches on each side with an additional strip. Let me start again by being in the camera. So I folded this in half, and I've got that mark right there. And I'm just going to sit this on here and use a piece of painter's tape to hold it. Hold it still for me. I'm trying to be aware of staying in the camera. So I'm going to hold that down right in the middle. Then I'm going to go ahead and start with the peeling on one side. I don't have any fingernails. There we go. I'll peel that up just a little bit. Pull this straight. And lay it down. Okay, can I do this? Make sure it's on here right. It's really sticky adhesive. So I'll peel a little bit at a time and I'll just pull it over. Trying to make sure that I have it on here straight. And going with the curve of this liner. Okay, I can take this painter's tape off. And continue to place this. And I'm just holding the edges of the rubber liner so that I can center these crystals. As such. Now I haven't pressed down on this to hold it firmly. I'm going to add some glue to make sure that this doesn't come off. Now this type of crystal sheet, you use heat to adhere it to make sure that it sticks on good, but I'm still going to put just a little bit of glue. I want to make sure. I don't want it to fall apart in any kind of way. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue since I have it placed. Then I can lift up on it and add the glue before I do these side pieces. So since it's in place, I'm going to lift this edge back up and use some E6000. And just spread it thinly. I'm going to go to the other side and do the same. So I'll lift that up. Actually, I'm going to take it to the middle. I didn't want to put the glue on first so that I could make sure that I had this lined correctly. So I'll just spread this out. And replace it as I put the glue on. So now I'm going to make sure that it's on here correctly, lined up right, and firmly pressed down. I use alcohol to get any residue that's on the outside of it. All right. So before I add the other two sides, I'm going to use my heat gun and activate the adhesive that is on the crystal sheet. And I'm just going to set it on low. Now, if I measured right, I think I need to measure out 8 inches for each side. So that would be right here. Let me fold that in half and sit it on here and see if that's what I need. Yep, 8 inches. So let me cut this. And line this up on the rubber gasket, the rubber lining. So I want to place that evenly and try and match the crystals right there. It's pretty sticky. And then I just want to lay this down lightly so that I line it up good with this rubber edge. Because if you don't press on it, you can move it around before it's permanently affixed. So I want to do this just like I did the first piece before I glue it. And start right here and add that glue. Peel that back a little bit. I want to make sure right here there's enough glue to abut up against this piece. All right, I'll pull this back up. Fit it in there. And press down on that part. I see that buckled. I kind of stretched it. So I'm going to hold it right here and pull up. Then add my glue. I'm just going to hold it right here and then press down all the way up, making sure that it's still meeting right here. Okay, now I'll heat it up. So we'll turn it over and do the same on this side. I've cut another strip of 4 rows of the crystals, and I just cut it long ways, and I'm going to leave it and cut it at the end to make sure I have the right measurement. So I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on this first inch or so. Peel this and line it up against these other ones. Hold it down and press that on. Okay, so now I'll continue to add the glue. With this adhesive and this E6000, this strip of crystals is not going anywhere. I can bring it to the very edge and cut off one more row of 4 when I attach this to the helmet, that I can come over the top of this. So I'm going to cut a couple rows and leave it hanging, which would be okay. So when I add this to the helmet, I can overlap and cut off what I need to. All right, now I'll press it down firmly and use the heat gun to activate that adhesive. And I think what I'm going to do is take a piece of this into this tape, this backing here, and put it on the back of this. Okay, I am done, and you can barely tell where the pieces connect. right there. But unless you're up close looking, you can't really tell. I push those two together. And so once I put it on that helmet, that's going to be nice. So I'm gonna set this aside to dry along with the visor, which is gonna take several hours, but I'm set this alongside of it to dry until I'm ready to put the helmet back together. And what I've done is use some clips and clip down the edges, like where it attaches here, where the two meet. I did that on both sides. Why do I have this one upside down? Just set this over here to fully cure and see what I'm gonna do next.
The next day.
Hello, howdy, hola. It's the next day. So let's continue with this cosmetic detailing. That's what you want to call it. Doing a few little things before I do the next stage on the actual helmet. So we were working with the um, brim. What do you call this thing? The visor. And this is what it looks like after that coat of urethane. It took hours to dry. It's dry. I'm not too great, not too cool with the results. It's okay, but I'm going to put some detailing on this and go from there. Take it down. Let's get started. I'm going to use my handy dandy hat stand and just put a silicone mat on top of it so that it's up and I'm standing up so that I can work a little easier and this won't slip. And just place this on here. Then hopefully that's a better angle for you to see what I'm doing. Hopefully. So what I've decided to do, I took more strips of this crystal bling sheet and just cut off one row. Get it started. If I can peel it. I started to wear gloves, but I knew I couldn't work with this using gloves. So I got it started, and I'm just going to start over here on this edge, this very edge. I'm going to go along this line right here and put this little detail on here. I just want to line it up just right. And I don't know about the glue on this one. I guess after I set it down, I'll do the same thing. After I get it lined up, I'll do the same thing and use some glue with a tip, with a precision tip, so that I can just use a tiny bit to hold this down. So I'm just pulling the backing as I try to look. I hope my head is not in there, and line this up along this line here. Hopefully, just gonna come all the way across. When I get through, I'll look at it to see if I've got it on here straight. But it looks like so far it's laying down straight. Let me just cut this part off, and then I'll adjust if I need to. Okay, let me take a close look. I don't want to press it down yet. Just want to make sure that it's on here right, that this button can be adjusted. I might need to put this down just a little bit further. So let me see if I can lift it. And adjust that down just a little bit. That should be good and out of the way of that snap. Now I'm going to use what? I have some B7000, which is like E6000, but this has a precision tip on it. So it only allows out a little bit of glue at a time. And I will, let's see, I'm gonna start on this end, raise that up a little bit and put a little glue right here. I don't want to put much, but I just want to make sure that this piece is secure, like the other pieces. And I think if I just put it on each end, I'll be good. Now I'll press it down all the way across. And I'm going to use the heat gun to activate the adhesive on the crystal strip here. Let's get it started. Let's heat it up. While it's warm, I'll just press into it again. Okay, do I want to add more? I want to be gaudy. And then I'm going to coat this again with, I don't know, something else. I'm not really liking this urethane, but that will be later. So, do I want to put another strip? I don't want too much, but I do want some bling, some shine, some glitter in the sunlight. So let's try this next one. Hopefully I can lay it down right. If I can't get it straight, because I'm not going to mark on here. If I can't get it straight, then I won't use it. But let's see. Let's start on this side, and I'm going to go down about, is that about 1/4 of an inch? A little over 1/4 of an inch. And if I can keep that same energy with this 1/4 of an inch, then it's going to look okay. Let's look at this side. Let's look at this side. Not bad. I think it's okay. Let me clip this in. Let me just double check that again. I think so. I think so. You just clip in between the crystals. What do you think? I think it's okay. Do the same process. Put a little glue on this end, a little glue on this end, and then use the heat gun. Let me do that same process, and I'll be back. I added a third line, and I'm just activating the adhesive. I've already glued it down on each corner with the B7000. How's that? So what I've noticed also is that these rivets here, the paint has worn off on that one and a little bit on this one. So I'm going to use an oil-based permanent marker. I'm going to use this one, Bic paint marker, which is oil-based, and it resists fading and water resistant. I'm just going to touch it up. I'm going to do all 3 of them. So far, this is what we got going on. So like I said, I didn't like this finish that's on here with the urethane. So I'm going to use some ultraviolet resin, UV resin. Pour a little bit in this silicone container, and I have a soft brush. Make sure I got enough. A soft paintbrush. And I just want a thin coat. So I'm going to start down here and go up underneath the rhinestones and just bring it across. Get a little bit of that off and just drag my brush. It's an angled brush, so just drag my brush all the way across up underneath the rhinestones or the crystals or whatever. They're not rhinestones. Well, I guess they are. Whatever they are. Okay? Then I'll go in this next layer right here and do the same thing. Don't want it to drip. I don't want a thick layer. Just a clear coat for protection. Now I'll go up here and do in between this first set of rhinestones. Crystals. And that brush fits right in there. Now I don't want to do anything up here because I don't want these snaps to get stuck. I'm going to figure out what to do with this top part with a different type of protection. Let me clean my brush right quick with some alcohol. Or just stick it in some alcohol. Get this resin out. And then I'll use my heat gun to get these fine pin bubbles out. Okay. So what I'll do now is we got sunshine. It's cold and snowed today, this morning, but we got sunshine. So I'm going to take advantage of the sun. I'm going to sit this here. I should raise it with something. Hold on. Sit it like that and cover it with this is an acrylic clear container. So no elements, nothing will get on it. Cover it, and I'm going to take it outside and let the sun rays, the UV rays, cure this resin. And there you have it. Nice and shiny and coated, protected. And we'll move on to the next part. So peace and love. Catch you on the flip side. The next episode. Hit that thumbs up, please and thank you. Be good. Subscribe if you haven't. Check out the past videos of the restoration of this motorcycle helmet if you have not done so already. I would definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much.